Hey everybody, Chuck here coming at you with a late and great update. Not so great. I'm going to call this day 17 to 27, and I didn't do any videos over the last week and a half. I got a little caught up. I had some training, and it's not my normal work week, and I'm sort of coming out of that now. So I started this 17 to 27 at 210. On the 21st, I went all the way up to 213. We'll talk about why. And now today on the 27th, when I woke up, I'm back down to 210. Now my average is still right around, with that up and down in there, my average is still right around 211. So I'm going to not call a success or anything like that, but we're going to call it 5 pounds down from the beginning of the month. So my 30-day challenge, I didn't really stick to it, right? I did a bit of drinking in there, and I guess with the results, with it being 5 pounds, that's not bad. Now this is where the struggle begins. I don't want to lapse back into the old way and gain that 5 back, because that would be what diets do. This isn't a diet. I'm trying this as the lifestyle change, so we're going to try and keep that going. Let me get back to the work. So I had the week of training. I struggled. We had buffets with high carb lunches. Not a good plan for my week. Last week I stayed pretty steady. However, the ugly piece. Today is now Saturday the 28th, the early morning hours, so we'll still call it the 27th. So last Friday, I think that was the 21st. So the 21st, I did, on my last day of training, we ended up about 2 hours early. We went out and I had a few drinks at Lavery's with some friends. So I had 4 beers out and about. And what that means is I didn't want to stop. I didn't have my 2 and stop. I wanted to keep going. They ended up having $5 growlers of pumpkin, which is really good. So I got a growler of that and polished that off at night. So I was pretty much a hot mess on that Friday. And we woke up Saturday, did some running, ended up at the Six-Pack House for just a couple. Didn't really drink that day, just had a couple out and about when we were doing errands. We ran errands all day, and that was really it. So I've had a fall off the wagon day. The next day is when I went all the way up to that 213 mark, so I was very unhappy with that. Then I went back into nights, and I think I was pretty successful at that. We started maintaining our low-carb meals. Even that Saturday, we stopped at Six-Pack. From then through today, so all week we've been pretty damn good on that. However, since I just got off of nights, my first night off actually, someone else from out of town who I work with was here, so we actually had to get together, and I had a couple more beers last night. So last night was a drinking night, so that was kind of planned. I didn't give an update from the week before, but that was a planned night to have a few drinks last night, and that was another one where I didn't stop. I don't think I really went overboard. I came home, had a 6-pack, so I guess I did go overboard, all told. But that's of course 8 to 12 hours worth of drinking. That's not all shoving it in. But way too many drinks total, way too many calories total, way too much sugar total. So hopefully, with the magic of some editing here, I'm going to be able to piece that together. My battery just died. That's one of the happy things about editing software that I'm not that good at. So anyway, I don't remember where I landed. The people came into town. I did have a planned drinking week. Since I didn't have an update last week, or late in the week last week, and then especially the night before I went on, the day before I went on nights, I did plan. I did have a feeling that this was coming up, and since it was an out-of-town visitor, I was going to take the social event and go do it. I wasn't sure if I was going to have 2 or 3 drinks and be done. I decided it was a good day to just keep on drinking. And that's what happens. And today, by the way, I'm off the wagon again because I'm having a couple Bloody Marys today. Not sure if it's going to end at a couple Bloody Marys or if I'm going to keep going after that. But I need to make another one, by the way.
But it's tomato juice, so it's healthy. And
clear liquor.
It's clear liquor.
And tomato juice, so a couple Bloody Marys.
Story.
A couple Bloody Marys is not going to hurt us. So I did fall off the wagon, and I have 2 more days to end this month, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of dramatic improvement, right? I think I'm going to be down maybe a little bit tomorrow due to more dehydration or whatever, and then I suppose I'll be back up again on the 29th when I wake up. and do my weigh-in then. But we'll see how it shakes out. So I don't think the month was a miss. I think it was a success. I'm down 5. I think Toots is down 6.5.
7.
7. So that's good. We're both there. And if we can do that again next month, that would be great. My goal now, looking forward though, I'm going to continue to be hardcore on the low carb meals. So no added carbs. There were some carbs and unavoidable carbs last week due to these lunches, even though I tried to minimize it. And I did have a couple of surprise come up drinking days and a couple of planned ones. So I actually really drank 6 days in February. It sounds like I'm talking about drinking a lot, but it was only 6 days. But 3 of those days, I got 4 of those days, 3 or 4, I actually did get drunk. I had too much. And was I sloppy, messy drunk? Probably not. Was I bad? No, but it's the, she's laughing at me. It's the overall too much carb, too much alcohol. Liver's got to work on that. Too much carb in the heavier craft IPAs and that kind of thing. So the liver had to work heavy duty on that too. So looking forward in March, I'm going to go pretty hardcore on the meals. I'm going to still go light on drinking. I says my regulation weight, my regulation phase, I was going to try and maybe to keep my weight at a steady kilter. I was going to maybe try and drink twice a week at the most, and then not necessarily getting drunk, or maybe just one drunken night. I think that's a good balance. I might play it that way because of just being social, being a social drinker instead of just slobbering buffoon. But I think the next 2 weeks my plan will be to drink on Tuesdays for Mug Club. I don't think I'm going to drink outside of that. The end of March, I work on my Tuesdays. I don't know if I'm going to drink the last 2 weeks of March or not. Maybe I will come home and have an enjoyable few. I'm going into nights again at the end of March, obviously. I'm on there now, so I'll be going back into my nights. Maybe in one of my spells, each one of those, I'll have a drinking day in between each one of those weeks or shift groups. So maybe I'll do that. So I'm going to reevaluate myself at the end of those first 2 weeks and see if I need to truly stop drinking or if I can do that 1 day a week drinking, if I'm maintaining weight or dropping just a little. I certainly don't intend on gaining. If I'm gaining, I'm doing something wrong because I still clearly have some room to go with that. There's still plenty to lose. 5 pounds right now. Well, it's actually 6, but I presume it'll be 5 by the end of the 29th. So picture a 5-pound tube of hamburger. That's not small when you look at it on the table. When you think 5 pounds in relative to 210, 215 pound guy, that's really not that much, right? You don't notice 5 pounds when it's distributed from here to there, or there to there, or anywhere. So, but when you put that 5-pound tube of hamburger on the table, you realize that's a big chunk of fat that's gone. So we're going to continue with that. I'm going to reevaluate mid-March, and I'm suspecting that I'll be down in March 2, 3, 4. I don't expect on doing a lot. That'd be great if I could do the same in April, the same in May. And then I'm certainly not at my ideal weight, but I'm certainly where I want to be, at least for now. And if I can maintain that through summer, that'd be great, because there's always social events and other things in the summer that break that up. A little bit of travel here and there, a little bit of enjoyment, and we're going to try and stick to it. There was one other thing I was going to say. I said I was going to reevaluate. Anyway, yeah, I don't know if I really want to get down to that ideal weight, but if I can continue to not gain, that's the key. You got any notes from the peanut gallery over there, Toots? Did I forget anything?
Nope, I don't think so.
We just need another Bloody Mary.
We need another Bloody Mary.
Yeah, that's it. And I guess I'm open to comments and suggestions. So I said a 5-pound thing of hamburger, but imagine that was just a 5-pound tube of fat. Because if I'm on a low carbohydrate diet, I'm not missing any of the amino acids or the essential fats or any of the essential nutrients that I'm getting. I'm still getting that from my veg. I'm still getting that from my fatty meats and fishes, and dairy, I guess, is included in that. So there's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. If my body can survive without that, there's nothing in a carbohydrate, either in a simple sugar or complex sugar, in a grain, wheat, corn, etc., that there's nothing in those that is essential to my body. In the carbohydrate side, I suppose there's some elements in corn that are healthy, but the amount of bad in the carb, the other things in corn that I get, in addition to the carbohydrate, I could certainly get from my other leafy greens and my other vegetables. So since there's none of that, I'm not losing any muscle mass. I'm not bodybuilding. I'm not trying to gain muscle. I'm not trying to get ripped. I'm not lifting weights. I'm not doing anything. So I can certainly attest to the fact that that's going to be all fat loss, that I'm not losing bone mass and muscle mass, because I'm not missing out on any of my essential nutrient, just the carbohydrate. If I started going low fat and taking my calories and carbs, I might actually be satiated, at least at the time, while still starving myself. So if I had 2,500 calories a day and 2,000 of those came from carbohydrate, I could be gaining weight but still nutritionally starving. Not calorically starving, but nutritionally starving. There's a couple different types of starvation. So the other thing about diets is people just say, oh, it's all about moderation, portion control. I am not hungry on this, I guarantee you. I mean, when I eat dinner, when it's time for dinner, I'm hungry, but I'm certainly not an hour after I eat cringing over and dying and trying to get through life on glasses and glasses of water. I'm certainly not hungry on this. And that's because the nutrients are there, because there's satiation there. So I'm avoiding caloric starvation, and I'm drawing a blank. I'm ignoring, I'm not going into caloric starvation, and I'm not going into nutrient starvation as well. So feeling pretty good, aside from the crushing hangover that I had from beer only. So once again, is it because it's alcohol, or is it because all of those carbs? I don't know, because I've been so strict. One of these days, I guess now the true test would be to completely blow a day, go out to Olive Garden, as much as I hate it. Actually, I'd probably make a big thing of lasagna. Actually, I have some lasagna left over in the freezer. Maybe I'll have a couple pieces of lasagna, some chocolate cake, or some crazy sugar thing, and see if I'm able to sleep right, if I don't have the sweats overnight, and if I wake up with a sugar hangover. I don't know if it's alcohol or sugar, because it's been so long since I've actually had a drinking hangover. I really don't understand it, but I've certainly had 2 this month, and that's rare. It's hard. I struggle with that, because I say I'm a drinker. I still think I am a drinker. I'm just doing this now to get into a regulation mode where I could start drinking again, right? It is. It's a regulation. It's all in the regulation. So I'm going to try it. Yeah, I'm going to reevaluate and see, and hopefully I'll be that 5 pounds more down at the end of March. If it goes there, if not, then I'll really reevaluate and have to hit it hard again, and it's going to suck. But the good news is it will be springtime, and I won't be as sedentary. I'll be out working in the yard, getting accidental cardio, getting accidental weight training just by doing things out and about, and moving around, and being out in the sun, just feeling good. So anyway, that's all I've got. That's a lot of rambling there at the end, but I think that's just a little bit about the theory and where I really want to go. So didn't do as good as I wanted to, because I believe it's because of those 4 days. However, I didn't go back to starting weight because of those 4 days, because I knew that coming off of those 4 bad days, that I'm going right back at it and hitting it hard. As far as cheats go, I'm rambling again. I've got to do another video on that. I'll have to do another video, and I'll talk about cheat days and the implications of them, I think, later, and how whenever we do diets, we do cheat days wrong, right? So we'll get into that, and maybe I'll have a quick little update. Maybe I'll just record another video now talking about cheat days, and we'll call it an interim. So until then, this is day 17 to 27 update, and check out.
Peace.
Oh, that sounded like it, Phil. That fucking
Your
dill
check
hole.
out or me saying
That
peace?
fucking dill hole at the end that always says peace.
Oh, I didn't know.
Fuck. Anyways.
Okay, you can always edit me out, so we're good.
No, actually, I want to do that as an